How can someone be sure what they're going for, what they desire is what they should be?
The first thing is desire that you want. You can look at everybody else, my boyfriend, my ex-husband, my husband, my wife, teacher, the boss, and everything. It comes back to us. What is it that I really want? Because that is what is going to help us to make the choice that is needed at that moment. Because you can sit there and blame everybody else, but does it serve you? When it comes to what do you really want, then you get to choose what is in alignment with your desires.
How would someone know that their desire is their true desire? For example, maybe I desire cake. I know cake is not good for me. I know it doesn't help me, but maybe I desire it. Maybe for men, I know they struggle with this pornography, right? Maybe they desire a certain type of woman, but then maybe that woman would be not a good fit for them, right? They're like, they are not in alignment. Their energy is off, is wrong. But we desire things sometimes and we don't necessarily know what we truly want. It seems like that would be nice, and we finally get it, happiness is not there. I know this happens to a lot of people who climb the corporate ladder and they say, I'm going to make six figures. I'm going to get all this money and I'm going to be a CEO of a company. And they finally attain all of these wonderful things, the cars, the houses, and they find that joy is not there.
I love your question.
Hmm.
The perfect one. When I say, what do you want? You say someone may feel like, okay, fine, I want to have sex. I want to eat a cake and all that. Those are wants that are coming from wherever that we think we are. And when I'm talking about desires, I'm talking about soul desires. And that is now who wants something and why? Because I can want something from my lower self. That is actually is quite interesting. I'm just going to share this. Today I was just sitting with myself and finally just like accepting that I am not an extrovert as I thought I was. The wounded aspect of myself was more outgoing and all that because I wanted to belong. But now when I look at it, I love when I show up 100% and with all the light and all the energy. But after that, I want to love myself. I want to recharge. I want to be with myself. So I'm not really an extrovert that I thought I was. I was doing it from the wounded perspective. So this is where you can differentiate, say, who is it that is wanting, and why? If I'm wanting from maybe thinking that it's going to give me something, I want to get married because who even wants to get married and why? I always, at times when I connect with people, and it's kind of like, I don't know, I want marriage, or even that not happy with our boyfriend, not happy with this person. Of course, everything is fine, but how he's not proposing. I'm not saying what they want is not right, but the question is, do they want them to propose just because somehow marriage is something that has been, it's a big thing culturally in the family. We feel like when you get married, somehow it completes something or it shows some ownership or whatever, or that you are loved or anything, what you really want or love the relationship that is. Because at times people miss on even appreciating they have, enjoying the moment because they are running after an outcome, which could be the status, the label, and all that. And I love the example that you gave when you say at times you want to go through the corporate ladder. I find this a lot with a lot of people that I work through. It doesn't matter whether it's someone who has been in Harvard and is a doctor or he's a doctor. What I find is that we dive deep. I did it because I wanted to make my mother proud, wanted my daddy finally to see me, or because they never received the love, they did it. Every time when I received a report and I did well at school, there was a time when I was appraised. So they think that being appraised, achieving something, is love. That's the only way that they get to be seen. So they chase that. It's not even them. So when I say what you want, first thing you get to know who you are for you to even want that. Because otherwise you are wanting something that either is coming from the wound, which could be that pornography, which could be alcohol, which could be the cake, because there is something that is coming through that you don't want to feel. So if you don't want to feel this, then you're going to smoke a cigarette because you don't even know how to breathe. When you breathe deep, maybe it brings in some emotion